Hello language learners, it's Maddie here with English with Maddie. Again, today we are baking something together and I'm so excited to share this new recipe with you. Now I have picked today's recipe because very soon it is going to be the 4th of July. And why is that important? Well, in the United States, the 4th of July is our Independence Day. So we're having a huge celebration. It is the middle of summer for us. And so many people celebrate by going outside. The day is off work, having a party, having a barbecue, and of course, fireworks. But as you plan all of these foods and family and fun, the biggest thing that people will look out for is what color is everything? So as you probably know, the American flag is red, white, and blue. So a lot of people will try to find especially dessert items that are red, white, and blue colored. So one of the most common things, again, it is the middle of summer, it is perfect berry season. That means strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, everything. And fortunately for us, almost all of those berries are red and blue. So one of the more common things you will see in a 4th of July party is going to be some kind of pie or crisp or anything that involves those berries. So today we are going to make a berry crumble, which is basically the easier version of a pie. So the things that we will need to do today, we need to make our filling first, and then second, we will make that crumble topping and put it in the oven, and it is all done. So let's get baking.
The first thing that we will do, if you remember from episode 1, is to prepare all of our tools and then our ingredients. We will use the scale to measure out all of the different ingredients for the inside filling, including the berries, some sugar, and cinnamon, as well as all of the ingredients for the crumble topping, including some melted butter and vanilla. When that is ready, we can preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit before starting on the filling. Though, as I mentioned, there are many ways to prepare the filling, I like to start with my strawberries by removing the top, the little green part, the stem, and then dicing the rest of the fruit. I like to dice my strawberries by first making some cuts along the top and then going back through each layer and cutting that layer into little cubes, or a dice, as we say in English. After we have all of our strawberries diced, we can move on to putting all of the ingredients into the same bowl for the filling. I am putting the diced strawberries into a large bowl before adding in blackberries, which I left whole, though you could slice them in half, and then some raspberries, which again I left whole and didn't cut. The last berry I added were blueberries. These I like to leave whole, but you can cut them if you would like a smaller size berry in your crumble. After these are mixed together, pour in your regular white sugar, followed by the rest of the dry ingredients, including the brown sugar, which adds a bit of a caramel taste, a little bit of flour, which will help thicken the juices when they start to release in the oven, and a little bit of cinnamon, which brings just a touch of a spicy flavor to complement the sweetness of the fruit. Make sure to stir the fruit and all of the dry ingredients thoroughly so every fruit is coated with the mixture. Leave these to macerate for a little while you prepare the crumble topping. The crumble topping is so easy to make and requires only a few ingredients. I first place the flour and baking soda into my bowl, followed by a little bit of sugar before giving this a little stir with my spoon. I wanted to make sure that nothing was clumped together in one area before pouring in my melted butter. The butter does not need to be hot, but it is easier to mix when it is a liquid rather than a solid. Here I am adding in my vanilla paste and a little touch of almond extract. Now that everything has been added to my mixing bowl, I'm stirring it with my spoon until a crumble texture forms. You can also use your hands as long as you wash them first. When the crumble is made, it is time to assemble the crumble into some baking dishes to go in the oven. I like to use a small measuring scoop to scoop the berries into my serving dish. Here I am using individual portion dishes or ramekins, though you can certainly use one large tin or pan if you would like. I think it is best to go to the top of whatever dish you are using with berries because they will reduce in the oven. So make sure that each of your containers or pans are completely full with berries before adding the crumble. You can use your hands to sprinkle the crumble over the top of each of your ramekins. You don't want there to be too much of the crumble, but you do want to have enough that you almost cannot see the berries underneath. By this time, the oven is warm and we can place our tray of little crumbles into the oven to bake. They will bake for about 45 minutes until they are nice and bubbling and the crumble is golden brown on the top. They are very hot, so please be careful when you are baking this and taking it out of the oven. Here is a little peek of what the inside of this wonderful, glorious crumble looks like when it is still hot from the oven. Look at that steam rising up. Look at how juicy those berries got. Ah, amazing.
All right, language learners, we have finished our berry crumble. It's out of the oven. I let it rest on my counter for about 10 minutes so it could cool off just enough so we don't burn our mouth when we eat this. So I have my individual berry crumble right here. As you can see, it started bubbling up and got super wonderful and juicy. All of those juices from the berries released with the help of that sugar, and the crumble got nice and golden on top. So one last addition, if you want to, it's not necessary. You can add a little bit of vanilla ice cream or freshly whipped cream, which is all that I have in my home right now. And this adds to that white portion of our red, white, and blue, of course, in celebration of the 4th of July. So let's dig in. Get a little bit of everything, get those berries and that crumble. Oh my gosh, look at that bite. A little bit of steam. I like to eat it when it's still warm, but you could let it cool off completely or even stick it in your refrigerator. Let's dive in. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so fresh with that little extra hint of sweetness, the little touch of cinnamon in there, and of course if you have some cream or ice cream, it adds a perfect little cool balance to the still warm crumble. It's so good. I love to make these individual portions if it's just me or my small group of family or friends. But you could make this same recipe and dump everything into a big casserole or pan or cake pan or anything and bake it as one big pie, basically one big crumble. And then you can just scoop it out with a serving spoon and dish it up into little bowls or even plates, whatever you have on hand. Seriously, it is the easiest recipe. Anyone can do it. And it's so versatile. You can change out any of those berries if you have more blueberries than strawberries, or if you don't like blackberries, or you only have frozen fruit. Anything goes. You might just want to adjust those sugar levels depending on your taste and depending on the sweetness of those berries. For example, if you are adding extra blackberries, those tend to be quite tart as opposed to raspberries or strawberries especially. So you might want to add more sugar with more blackberries or less sugar if you have more of those strawberries. All right, guys, we are at the end of our time today. I hope you had a great time learning with me both English and pastry. And if you haven't already checked out all the other additions that come with this video, the transcript, the recipe, some little summaries there for you. Everything is included with some worksheets, study guides, vocab lists. All of those good things are right down below this video attached to the same post. Thank you so much for baking with me today. I will see you guys next time on Baking with Maddie. Happy studying!